restriction. You can go on any airline, any cruise ship, any hotel, any car rental, anything. Because it's just a travel agency. You can say, we booked a little while ago, we booked when I was in the Bahamas with the family. So we said, what's the nicest hotel in the Bahamas? And people say, well, Atlantis is the biggest hotel. Anybody been down there? Yeah, Atlantis. And so we said, well, is it available through them? We call them up. We go, you can get Atlantis. They say, like, any hotel means any hotel. It's just like going to your travel agency. Your travel agent doesn't say, oh, I can't book those hotels, right? But a lot of your cards do, don't they? I can't get that airline. I can't get that hotel. This is only on certain seasons, yada, 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 yada. Not this. This is anytime, anywhere, any hotel, anywhere in the world. Is that good or is that good? That's very good. Now listen to this. So here's my recommendation. When you buy things, again, if you have no willpower, then don't do this. But once you get onto the money management system, everything will change for you. Your whole life will change. I guarantee you that. So you'll be able to do this. So why should you blow off $5,000 of your hard-earned cash on a vacation where you could have got that vacation for free using points, right? On the money that you were already spending during the year, yes or no? All it takes is a little bit of understanding discipline. Also want you to pay off your credit card every month. But you're going to have the money to do that. That's what the management's all about. So we have gone on, we spend a lot of money on our credit cards. And the way I do that is I make sure that pretty well everything I buy, if I have a choice between cash and credit, I do what? Look, I'm one of these guys that goes to Starbucks. I buy a coffee for $4.35 and I give them my credit card. Okay? Because to me, 4 points is better than no points. It gets me 4 points quicker to the beach in frickin' Maui, okay? That's all I'm thinking about. I say, this coffee, 2 gulps, for me, and 1 gulp is to be on Maui, all right? That's it. So I pay with my credit card. I also make sure I pay my credit card off every single month, right? So you'll know that. Now, what I've also done is I take our corporate account, and we now have a corporate account on the same Visa. So a room like this, could be $8,000-9,000 for the weekend. It's probably a lot more, 12,000. All of that's on there. So everything that I do from the $4 coffee to $12,000 rooms is on that Visa. Got it? So that's why I am very fortunate enough I haven't paid for vacation, even though it's so funny. When you're rich, things just start coming to you. You don't have to pay for things anymore. It's like, when I couldn't afford it, I'm like, God, to take a vacation. Now we just came, we were in the Dominican Republic. We were in Mexico with $1,000 a day for the 4 of us to be in Mexico on all-inclusive. And that's the other thing, by the way. When you do this, go and do all-inclusive resorts. Why? Because then the credit card pays for your food. Understand? The points pay for your food. Because you can't go to a restaurant and and use points, understand? But if you have an all-inclusive hotel, food's included, so now your points pay for everything. We went to Mexico, again, it was $1,000 a day. It was $8,000 for the 8 days. You know how much money? I brought $100 with me. That's it. My daughter got a sombrero. That's all we spent. Everything else was taken care of. All on points. Good or good? So I'm not saying you're going to get as many points as I do, and many of you will get many more points than I do. However, I make it a point, if at all possible, if I'm going to buy something, anyways, I don't say, I'm going to buy that to get points. I don't say, I'm going to buy that so I can use my credit card. No, I say, I'm buying that anyway. My choice is check, cash, or credit. I'll take the credit card with the points, obviously. Yes or no? Now, how many of you have a card called Air Miles? The blue card with the thing, right? I'm going to highly recommend you look into TD Travel Gold Visa. So I'm not supposed to say anything negative about other things, right? But if you check your book on the Air Miles card, if you have, I think it's 647 billion points, you get to fly from here to Edmonton. And only part way. And if you have 3 trillion points, you can get a freaking lawn chair, okay? Of all the programs I'm seeing, that's the one you really have to look at. You know what? I'll tell you right now. You know how lots of times they say, like in the gas station, do you have an Air Miles card? I have one. I go, no. it's not worthwhile pulling it out and giving it to the guy. Now, again, that's just my opinion compared to everything else. But that's a great card. You don't have to pay for it. Wonderful. But you get exactly what it's worth. What can I tell you? Okay, that's my experience with that card. And I've seen lots of cards. I even have the American Express Gold Multiplier 1.5. Great card. You get to multiply your points by 1.5 or 2 times. That's great, right? One little problem. Oh, blackout periods. Certain hotels, certain airlines. Great, except I want to go where I want to go when I want to go. Got it? Does that make sense? All right, so I'm suggesting don't cut up your credit cards. If you're going to buy something anyways, be smart, manage your money, manage your credit card, and use that for points towards your vacation so you don't have to put $5,000 in here a year. Does that make any sense? The next account is this one. Who can tell me what that stands for? Education. Education. And we're going to put, again, 10%. So how much is 10%? $10 into education. Now, 10 out of our 100. Why am I adamant about education? Very simply, it worked for me, and it worked big time. See, I had heard that success was a learnable skill, but I was still broke. Understand? And when I started my education, in other words, street smart education, like this kind of education, I got really rich really fast. So it worked for me, and I tried everything. I tried getting the right business, getting with the right people, yada, yada, yada. But it was only the learning of the inner game and the outer game, the tools, that everything changed for me. So I was very fortunate. I was coming home, came home one day, again, I was like 26, 27. I had been up and down like a yo-yo and broke a lot of the time. And I came home and my father had a friend over who was a multi-millionaire. If he wasn't a billionaire, I don't know who was. Multi-millionaire. Why and how he was friends with my father, I have no idea. However he is, okay? So I guess my father was crying the blues to him because he had to loan me more money again, right? And so he took me aside and he said, do you want a little piece of, wisdom? And I said, well, at this point in time, I'll take anything, right? So he said, look, he says, it's very simple. He says, Harv, if you're not doing as well as you'd like to be doing, all that means that there's something you still don't know. Well, being a brash young man at the time, I thought I knew what? But my bank account did not reflect that. And so I listened to him. I said, what are you talking about? He says, you need to get yourself educated. You need to learn your way to success. And he told me what to do. He told me to study entrepreneurs. He told me to do this. He told me to do that, study financial, do this. And I did. And work on the inner game and all that. And I did. And everything changed for me. Everything changed for me. So I am adamant about education because I know that it works. I'm living proof of it. I went from being so broke. Many of you know the story. I had to borrow $1 for gas for my car. Now, first of all, it wasn't my car. Secondly, borrowing $1 for gas is bad enough, but when the dollar's in quarters, that's bad, okay? All right? I went from there to being what most people would consider extremely rich. I'm talking multi-millionaire, okay? And I attribute to one thing, getting educated. I'm not talking about college and high school here. I'm talking about learning how to win the game, both on the inner side and on the outer side. Do you understand, yes or no? Okay, I hope you get it. I would never say education was important if it didn't do what it did for me, because it's the only thing that did it. It wasn't the right business, it wasn't the right people, it wasn't the right time, it was the right education, learning from the right people and getting it down. So, education allows you to learn how to make more money. It also allows you to grow personally, spiritually, and of course financially. Now, why is this important? Because the universe is dynamic. What is it? That means it's always changing, yes or no? Which means simply this. In the laws of the universe, in the laws of science, ask any scientist, they'll tell you the same thing, any biologist, any doctor, at all points in time, you are either growing or you are dying. One of the two at every moment. Do you understand? Yes or no? It's your choice. You're either growing or you are dying. And my philosophy is simply this. If you budget 10% and allot that to education, you will assure yourself that you will always be what? Growing. I think that's a very good idea. Because that's the other way, it doesn't work too well. Bob Proctor. Have you ever heard of Bob? He's a great guy, great teacher. He said this. Listen closely. I love this quote. He said, The learners shall inherit the earth, while the learned will be beautifully equipped for a world that no longer exists. Want me to repeat that? The learners shall inherit the earth, while the learned, as in those who learned before and not continuing, will be beautifully equipped for a world that no longer exists. Benjamin Franklin, he had another saying. He said, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. So, I am big on education. Plus, if you are in any business whatsoever, part-time or full-time, raise your hand if you are. All your education is tax deductible, so you might as well just knock off 40% of the cost. You got it, yes or no? Seminars, books, that should all be tax deductible. If you're not deducting that, then if you're not in a business, start a business in order to deduct that stuff. Deduct mileage, but most of your education is seminars. Just knock off 40% of the cost. Now, the next account we're going to work on is this one. My least favorite. Stands for what? Necessities. And we are going to devote a grand total right now of what? 55% of our after-tax income to this necessities jar. Necessities. Let's see. 55%. How much goes in there out of 100? 10. Help me out. 20, 30, 40, 50, 55. That's a lot of money, isn't it? 55%. What is this for? Who can tell me? Food. What else? So it's to pay your bills, your living bills. What is it? Your utilities, your house mortgage, your rent, your food, insurance, necessary clothing. I hope some of you heard that. I'll say it again. Necessary clothing. Not your 7th green alligator handbag of the month. Your daily coffee, your makeup, your gym membership, your car payments. I'm going to say it again. Your car payments come out of there. Your credit card payments would come out of there. Now, let's say, and then when you use this one, LTSS is for more, at least your minimum has to come out of here. If you're going to do a minimum payment, it's got to come into your necessities. Understand? Yes. All right. So that all your major expenses come out of there. Now, question always comes up. What if you can't live on 55%? There you go. First answer is what? Simplify your life. Change the way change your habits. Change what it takes for you to be happy. Do you understand what I'm saying? Look, I'm going to give you a real clue here. Like we're doing wizard training next week. It's sold out, so don't worry about that. But it's been sold out for a year. We're doing it. But the thing about life is so simple is that you think it takes certain things to make you happy. Guess what? That's just your mind playing games with you. What it actually takes to make you happy is whatever you decide it takes to make you happy. You make the decision. And if you change what makes you happy, all of a sudden it can take a lot less to make you happy. You can win the money game much faster. Does that make sense? So you can simplify your life. And all you have to do is try it. Look, a lot of years ago, my mother used to cook with a lot of salt. So I heard salt was bad for you, so I stopped eating salt. Well, for the first month and a half, everything tasted like garbage. But after a while, it tasted normal, right? Because we're creatures of what? Habits, right? And then I remember 3 months after that, I had something with a bit of salt in it. I almost puked. You understand? Because you change your habit. You understand? Yes or no? It's hard to go the other way again. So that's the first thing. Secondly, remember this. A lot of what you're using your necessities for now are going to come from different accounts now, aren't they? Your saving, your car, your college, your education. That's all coming from a different place now. So there's money managed and budgeted for that. So you won't need your necessity account for that anymore. Does that make sense? It's going to come from somewhere else now, something specific for it. Okay. Again, you're going to have to choose. Here's your choice in life. Listen closely. You either choose immediate gratification or you choose winning the money game and becoming free quickly. At every structure, that's what you're going to choose. Understand? That's what you're going to have to choose. Now, once you win the money game, now you can add gravy to it whenever you want. You can go from winning the money game at a certain level to I'm winning the money game, but I'm winning big time now. This next one is one of my favorite accounts. What's it called? It's your play account. And we are going to put how much? 10%. So, how much out of our $100 do we put in here? $10. Right in here. Very good. By the way, notice how much went in your FFA account. 10. How much went in your play account? Notice that they're identical. Notice how important that is. Now, if I have a choice, I'm going to take FFA, right? But most people go the other way. Your play account is for what? It's your quick cash. It's for extra clothing. It's for your toys. It's for your entertainment. It's for eating out at nice places. It's for your mini getaways. It's for getting your massage. You know, it's that kind of thing. You want nurturing type of things. And here's the rule. The rule is simply this. All the money in this account, you have to blow it at the end of the month. You've got to wipe it out. You've got to blow it. You've got to have a great time with it. Now, it's critical that you do that. And I don't want you to just to spend it on little nothings. I want you to take the